The model gets 3 diesel and 2 petrol engine options. There's also 5 USB ports and the option to connect up to 8 devices to a 4G hotspot.
(2018) Jaguar E-Pace Review. Long-needled pines tower above us, flanking the road on both sides. Straight as laser beams, these coniferous giants stab at the heavens, though an ominous January fog seems to parry their skyward thrusts. Our Borosco Grey Jaguar E-Pace could have completely disappeared in this misty veil, its ashen paint a perfect match for the airborne precipitation. Fortunately, at ground level this vapor was intermittent, never gaining adequate strength to seriously hamper visibility, a blessing given the thoroughfare my drive partner and I were navigating. The roads around and through Parc Naturel Regional de Corse, a sprawling nature park on Corsica, are improbably twisty, constructed to trace this French Mediterranean island's craggy topography. Achingly beautiful. It was by no means the only strip of breathtaking asphalt we sampled. The entire drive was a constant left-right battle, evidently. The inhabitants have no concept of what a straight line is, and that's just fine with me. Keeping pace. Clearly, Jaguar's leadership has absolute faith in their latest effort. A compact luxury crossover. Otherwise, they wouldn't have selected such an exotic drive location, one that's arguably better suited to an F-Type sports car than some high-riding 5-seater. Outside, it fits perfectly in the company's lineup. With elegantly simple styling, E-Pace is probably the most tastefully designed model in its crowded segment. Underneath that sleek body, this Jaguar shares the same basic underpinnings with the Range Rover Evoque and Land Rover Discovery Sport, though all its key dimensions are different from those blood relatives. Saving weight, its hood, front fenders, roof, and tailgate are all made of aluminum. There's also a magnesium cross-car beam. Still, a few bits of lightweight metal isn't enough to make a significant difference at weight and time. The aerodynamic model clocks in at nearly 4,200 pounds, 1,832 kilograms, par for the crossover course these days. You feel much of that mass while hustling the E-Pace, though it's not quite as bulky as you might think given the 2-plus-ton curb weight. Body control is exemplary, with minimal roll, even if you happen to overcook a corner or two. Continuously variable dampers are on the options list. They can respond to changing road conditions in as little as 10 milliseconds. Ride quality with the standard suspension arrangement seems to strike an ideal balance. It's firm enough to feel taut and playful without punishing occupants at every surface or regularity. Ingenium engines. In North America, just one powertrain is offered in this new Jaguar crossover, though it is available in 2 potencies. The E-Pace is hauled around by a brand new Jaguar Land Rover-designed Ingenium 2-liter 4-cylinder engine. Loaded with technology like a multi-geometry turbo and variable valve lift, it's plenty competitive with what's found under the hoods of rival models, like the BMW X1, Mercedes-Benz GLA, and Audi Q3. Standard models are graced with 246 horsepower and 269 pound-feet of torque, but our dynamic models are pumped up considerably. In these versions, horsepower swells to 296 while torque is rated at 295 pounds-feet. These figures result in some impressive acceleration scores, on paper at least. According to Jaguar, the lesser engine can get an E-Pace to 60 miles an hour in 6.6 seconds, 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 7 seconds. The greater one can do the deed in just 5.9. Despite having nearly 300 horses on tap, the aerodynamic model doesn't feel that fast, especially while climbing narrow, mountain roads. Pin the accelerator and that boosted 4 is a bit pokey in the lower rev range, hanging briefly around 3,000 revolutions per minute while working its way to redline. Another downside is the fuel-saving stop-start system, which isn't terribly refined because the powertrain shudders slightly every time combustion resumes. Making the most of available torque is a standard ZF 9-speed automatic gearbox. This is the same transmission that's earned a reputation for less than stellar shift quality in other automotive applications, and here it could also use a bit more tuning work. It mostly behaves itself, though a handful of clunky gear changes were evident while traversing the Corsican countryside. Standard all-wheel drive. Ensuring drivers are never wanting for traction, whether on road or off, all-wheel drive is standard in the E-Pace. As with engine output, 2 different flavors are offered. Regular models feature permanent all-wheel drive, but our dynamic versions have what Jaguar calls active driveline that can electronically disconnect the rear axle for greater efficiency when extra traction isn't needed. As conditions dictate, this system is also able to send up to 100% of available torque to either rear wheel thanks to a pair of electronically controlled wet plate clutches in the rear end. This can allow for a bit of oversteer in slippery conditions. On road, the E-Pace will benignly understeer, even if you goose the accelerator while cornering. Better safe than sideways, I suppose.
This is the Jaguar E-Pace. It's the brand's answer to the BMW X1 and the Audi Q3. Its big brother, the F-Pace, has been a huge success for Jaguar, but when this goes on sale later this year, it will be the brand's biggest selling car yet. Here are 5 things you need to know.
You can get a standard E-Pace or an E-Pace R-Dynamic, with the latter adding loads of sporty touches to the car. Both the E-Pace and R-Dynamic come in 3 trim levels, S, SE and HSE. Across all trims, standard equipment includes a rear view camera, LED headlights and Jaguar's Touch Pro infotainment system. The model gets 3 diesel and 2 petrol engine options. If you're most interested in economy, your best bet is the entry-level 2-litre diesel, which delivers 124 grams per kilometre of CO2. The fastest model is a 2-litre 296 brake horsepower petrol, which hits 0 to 62 miles per hour in 6.4 seconds. There's either a 9-speed automatic or 6-speed manual available, and all models except that entry-level diesel are all-wheel drive. The car uses Jaguar's Touch Pro infotainment system, which has a touchscreen to let you control things such as your sat-nav or your favourite apps like Spotify. There's also 5 USB ports and the option to connect up to 8 devices to a 4G hotspot, surely enough to keep all passengers happy. The E-Pace's design reflects a sporty F-Type sports car with similar rear and front lights. It also has short front and rear overhangs akin to the F-Type, which help create more space in the cabin. Rear legroom is decent, though less than its rival, the BMW X1. But where it loses in legroom, it wins in boot space, with a lot more than the X1, and an optional gesture tailgate for easy access. The compact SUV costs from $28,500 for the entry-level diesel, which is almost identical to the starting price of the BMW X1. The top-of-the-range petrol E-Pace costs £45,660 plus any extras.